Like I said, my one main criticism of the Japanese and how they've been handling their mangas and animes is to have more American studios get a hold of their brands in order to ruin them and to really run them into the ground. That is a mistake. It doesn't seem to have crossed all the way into like what they're producing. So we're not seeing that in the anime yet or seeing that in these mangas. But there's an example here. We talked about it yesterday. We had Joe sending a couple of super chats, and the showrunner for One Piece, the upcoming One Piece adaptation, is a full-blown leftist. Now, it'd be one thing if he kept his politics completely away from the project, but that's not what it is that he's doing. Let's just read this from Bound Again Comics. So obviously he accounts Monkey D. Luffy, whatever his name is, to Kamala Harris. I thought it said Kamala Khan because they're both stretchy. But no, it's Kamala Harris Khan. And slave-owning aristocrat St. Carlos to Donald Trump. This is obviously the slave-owning aristocrat. And the showrunner made a post. Let's see if we can get to it. Here he is. Steve Maeda, that's his name. Maeda made his first political comparison in January of this year, shortly after President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris took office on Inauguration Day, sharing a side-by-side comparison of One Piece protagonist and VP Harris on his personal Instagram. And he asked, Monkey D. Luffy, Kamala D. Harris, Will of D, a reference to how characters in this series who possess the middle initial D, my middle name's D as well, are regularly shown to be powerful and influential individuals. First of all, and I ain't even the biggest One Piece guy, right? And I know they have no similarities. But that's what happens when you're consumed by your politics. You try to inject your shit into there. And I get it. Right? Definitely considering these fight against like world government. One Piece can actually be kind of like real like libertarian, if anything. But this is bizarre because they have no similarity. But this is your showrunner from the upcoming One Piece that is doing this. He did the same thing with, of course, who would be more of the enemy here, the bad guy, and having him sit next to Donald Trump. In response, Maeda issued a second political sharing, another side-by-side comparison. And there you see it right here. Alongside the image, Maeda wrote, to those who think One Piece posts shouldn't be political or anti-fascist, here's a before and after of the character who's a bad guy. Of course, Orange Man bad. See, I cannot sit up here and say that the showrunner, like without a doubt, is going to try to inject his political views into it to the point to where we see it on the One Piece live action Netflix series or whatever. But it ain't looking good. This is why you can't have these guys being next to your projects. That's the beauty of like some good art and good entertainment. It's up for interpretation, guys. People from different political slants are going to think they see themselves in that. And I get all of that. But this is a guy who at least has some sort of control as far as what's going to be happening with the upcoming Netflix deal. And he's already using specifically the brand that he didn't create, but the brand that he's now associated with by default and is at least a showrunner. He's using that to say, hey, look at the politics. I don't know how this is going to go. I can't say that, okay, well, I think it's dead on arrival because it's just Netflix and most media that they're not just Netflix, really Hollywood in general, of doing stuff that's already been created is usually dog shit anyway, so you can kind of count on it. I don't know what it's going to do. But it goes to show that they are consumed so much by their politics that they have to make those comparisons, and they don't even care. Like, they double down, right? When someone says, wow, you shouldn't be doing this because One Piece, this isn't really what this is about. You're trying to make it about your politics, and we know that you have some sort of control. You're not just some random guy posting about it on Twitter or Instagram. You're a guy posting about it on Instagram, but you are a showrunner for this upcoming deal. Right. So why are you injecting your politics sort of into this? And that's exactly what he's doing. And it just means a little more. They can't control themselves, guys. And this is why they have to attach themselves to brands that they already know. And this is what my biggest criticism of the Japanese. Stop doing that shit, man. I know, I get it. I don't know how struggling a lot of those like the manga anime creators out there are, or I don't know. But I know that more than likely what's happening, at least I think, Netflix is giving them a big bag of money. And they are saying, we don't want you anywhere near the project, but here's X amount of millions of dollars. And whatever companies control these properties out there in Japan are saying, fuck it, have it. Run the motherfucker into the ground. We got $5 million. You know, we got X amount of dollars. And I had a great conversation with big shout out to Larry Sharp. I think I talked about this on the show the other day. But I had a great conversation about this specific thing because he was talking about the stuff that we're creating. He was like, one of the biggest things, you like creativity, you're not going to have any problem. The problem, if there is to be one, that you got to worry about is when the banks come calling. And what he was referring to is that there are going to be people who have a lot of money that want in on this project, right? Do you have the balls to say no? Hey, $10 million. You can't touch this project, but we're going to do an adaptation of it. Here's $10 million just to utilize it. And you can sit up here and say, wow, that's a lot of money. My kids are going to be taken care of, right? And sometimes you look at that money and you're like, shit. I bet. Fuck it. But it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Because something that you created is about to get ran into the... Maybe they do a decent job, but more than likely they don't. So it gets ran into the ground, and now you have to sit up here and look at the fact that your shit is now associated with that. I don't think it's personally worth it.
You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.